Hi, my name is Kate, and I'm a millionaire. I'm the owner of a big factory that makes all sorts of little things for the home and family. And I also own a chain of stores and restaurants. I own a yacht, 3 fancy mansions, and a fleet of cars. And I'm only 18. And if you think my rich parents helped me with everything, you're wrong. Everything I have, I got on my own. In a minute, I will reveal my secret, how to become rich and independent. And you, please subscribe to my channel and put a bell. Thank you. So, I was born into a poor family and have been lacking something my whole life. While my classmates were bragging about fancy clothes and going to parties, I was wearing my older sister's old worn-out jeans and skimping on lunches. I wanted to live as cool as the other girls. Go shopping, eat out at nice places, or spend movie nights. But my family couldn't even afford short vacations. And I only went to the movies once, when I saved for food for 2 weeks. As soon as I grew up, I realized that I urgently needed to find a job. I went for a job interview to become a salesperson in a clothing store. But because of my shabby appearance, I was rejected. They said I would scare away all the customers. I couldn't become a waitress for the same reason. My sneakers were torn, and the manager told me to come back after I cleaned up and bought new clothes. I would have loved to, but how could I do that without money? Fortunately, I did find a job. It was a maid in a fancy hotel. And most importantly, they gave me a new uniform and special shoes. I cleaned, folded, and vacuumed the rooms, corridors, and halls of the hotel. But it didn't take me long to get excited about my new uniform because there were a lot of gorgeous people in expensive clothes, and I was terribly jealous of them. I desperately wanted to be in their shoes. Then I decided to start listening to what rich clients were saying. I listened to the conversations at the buffets, in the restaurant, and the hotel conference room. You wouldn't believe how much interesting things rich people talk about. They discuss stocks, exchanges, accounts. I decided to listen to it all carefully and not only memorize, but also write it down. Within a few months, my notebook was full of notes with such information, which in itself is worth a lot of money. I also started making acquaintances. You'll probably laugh in my face. Who's going to talk to a regular cleaning lady? But I studied each of them, learned about their preferences for food and drink, and these subtleties helped me start a conversation. This way, I was gathering a real base of rich and influential people. I liked that job. I could be invisible and still know everything about everybody. The only thing that frustrated me was that, at work, we were given terrible dusting and cleaning clothes. They were of very low quality, and I sometimes had to scrub a single spot off the carpet for an hour, and that kept me from hearing the information I needed when I wanted it. To save time, I decided to do something different. When I got home, I set about redoing the napkins. My grandmother once told me how to clean my house quickly and efficiently, and I remembered her telling me to take a thin cloth, soak it in cleaning ingredients, and then combine it with a tough cloth napkin. I sewed such a cloth, and it worked! With these clothes, the dust washed off much faster, and I had time to eavesdrop on conversations where and when I wanted to. One day, another maid saw my napkins. She liked them and bought some from me. A couple of days later, maids from the other floors of the hotel came running in with the same request. That's when I realized that demand creates supply. I made thousands of these napkins, dressed up nicely, and approached the hotel manager. I already knew very well how to communicate about business. I was able to prove to the manager why the hotel should buy several hundreds of these napkins from me. And everything spun. I quit my job as a maid and started calling all the hotels, restaurants, and cleaning services offering my product. My business went up, and I could no longer manage to sew the napkins. I hired a seamstress, and since she worked quickly, we started making not only napkins, but other home cleaning supplies as well. I started selling them. The number of orders was growing, and I pulled out my notebook with the notes I had collected while eavesdropping on conversations between rich people in the hotel. Using these contacts and information, I knew what to do next. And I started signing contracts to work with people I had been taking out the garbage for. Now I am a millionaire, and I have achieved everything on my own. My main secret is to be attentive and go after my goal no matter what. It's hard for me to say now. I don't think it would end so quickly for me. Listen to my story to the end, and I'm sure you'll definitely feel differently about life after that. I'm 15, and everyone calls me Penny. Until a week ago, I was a boring, unremarkable girl. School, then home, watching YouTube, chatting with my girlfriend, chatting about her unfortunate love. All days were like one another. I was not depressed. No, it's just my character. I became like that a couple of years ago, when I was constantly sick and wandered from one hospital to another. I was diagnosed with blood leukemia, which I didn't realize the seriousness of right away. My parents supported me. All the money was spent on treatment. And after 6 months, I was in remission. I started going to school again. I did well in school. My parents were relieved, but life was boring. And then 2 weeks ago, after the routine tests, I got tested every 6 months. The doctor called my parents in for a talk. And then I saw my mother hiding her tear-red eyes from me. I realized that my test results were bad. I read a lot about leukemia on the internet, and I realized that it's a matter of luck. Some people do recover, and some, like me. As we were leaving the doctor's office, I heard. You'll find out what I heard in a minute. But now don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And make sure you have the bell clicked. Then you'll know when there's a new video coming out in the channel. I heard him whisper in my mom's ear, 10 days. And mom just sobbed back. I figured it out. I had 10 days left. 10 last days. And it's up to me. How do I want to spend them? I can lie in bed and listen to my strength leave me. Or I can breathe life to the fullest. I stayed up all night reading about people who have found the power to change their lives fundamentally, and sat down in the morning to write my most cherished wishes. First on the list, I wanted a tattoo. A large, voluminous, bright flower that curls along my torso and blooms on my shoulder blade. My parents strictly forbade me to do that, but it didn't matter now. Next on the list was my hair. I always wanted a short haircut, with hair sticking out in different directions. For me, it is a symbol of carelessness, or something like that. And my mom kept braiding me braids. So I plucked up courage, and in the morning, I scheduled a haircut appointment. And in the afternoon, the same day, a tattoo appointment. And in the evening, I came home so happy. While Dad was still in the kitchen and dinant, I was already going through the closet for tomorrow, because wish number 3 for me was even crazier. But I decided to make it happen. There was an end of semester party coming up at school, and I decided to finally hook up with Ted. I didn't have time to wait for him to pay attention to me, and I'd been wanting to declare my feelings since 5th grade. So at the party at school, I wore a nice tight top and sassy leather pants that my friend Nora had somehow made me buy. And I looked gorgeous. No one recognized me at first because of my haircut. But all guys winked and smiled at me. Wow. I felt myself like I had wings behind my back. I didn't make it to Ted's house, but halfway there, Donovan, the handsome boy and star of the basketball team, said hi to me. We flirted with him all night, And then he gave me a ride home in his black Ford. And the evening ended even better than I'd planned, with a hot kiss. Wow, the adrenaline was off the charts. I finally felt like I was living. And it turns out, everything is possible if you're a little bolder and more determined. Another surprise was waiting for me the next day. I got a message from the same Ted. He wrote that he had noticed me at the party, but then I disappeared somewhere, and he wanted to go roller skating with me. I was shocked. Not one guy, and two liked me. And of course, I said yes. We had fun. We laughed it off. And Ted kissed me goodbye. Ooh, what a life. I had so much fun. And it also turned out that Donovan had been texting me all night. And I managed to miss a few calls from him. Yeah, Penny, you are one hell of a girl. I was just pulling on my pajamas when there was a gentle knock on the door. Mom! She sat down next to me and quietly asked, Penny, explain to me, what's going on? The tattoo, the haircut, the parties. Yesterday, one guy brought you in. Today, another guy is kissing you at the door. What is wrong with you? I heard the doctor's verdict, Mom. 10 days. That's all I have left. Mom didn't say anything. It was like she was remembering. And you thought you had 10 days to live. And Dad and I were being so calm? You have always supported me. So you decided not to upset me unnecessarily. My Penny! My mother held me tenderly to her breast. Live on and don't worry about a thing. The doctor wasn't talking about you. There's nothing wrong with you. The haircut looks good on you, by the way, but don't fool the boys. And she walked away laughing, and it was like the ground was slipping out from under me. I was in a hurry, and I'd done some crazy things, and I was a different Penny. And now life was just going to get boring again? What about Donovan and Ted? Who should I pick? They're both fun. Who would you pick? Text me. I also had skydiving and swimming with sharks on my wish list. But now I'm hesitant. Should I do it? What would you do?